The disruption of the school calendar this year has adversely affected students, parents and teachers, but its adverse impact goes far beyond these. There are multiple suppliers across the country whose entire business relies on schools being open if they are to make any revenue. Tonight, we shed the spotlight on some of these businesses and how the lost education calendar has thrown many businesses and by extension, many livelihoods into disarray.
It is July 2020, and unlike in the past when Hamisi Said's workstation would have been abuzz with the printing of the examination papers for schools ahead of the end of the second term, it is now a pale shadow of its usual self. The closure of schools for the rest of the year has dealt him a big blow.
Tangu tarehe 15 March, wakati walitangaza kuwa masomo yamesimama, hiyo ndio wakati ni kama tulipigwa msumari kwa kichwa. Sababu tulikuwa tumefanya supplies kwa institutions, alafu pia zingine tulikuwa tumeprint material zao.
Said's pain is not exclusive to him. In Murang'a County, some suppliers are calling upon the government to step in and cushion them from the impact of delayed payments as schools have failed to meet their obligations.
People outside here are suffering because the school suppliers or any other supplier anywhere needs to have funds to pay debts.
Shule zitafunguliwa Januari, wengine wetu tunaona tukiendelea hivyo sisi tutakuja kuchotwa. Na tungeomba tu serikali iachilie pesa ndio tuweze kulipa bills zetu.
Veteran high school principal and the executive director and co-founder of Nova Pioneer Schools, Christopher Hayemba, says that the biggest loss for school suppliers this year is the absence of the stable and reliable demand that is often provided by schools.
Schools are established centers of consumption and the supply. For suppliers, this is a consistent, organized, dependable centers of consumption for their services and the goods.
Hayemba proposes that the government could ring-fence some of the funds in the COVID-19 emergency kitty to provide a lifeline for verified school suppliers.
Some of these COVID-19 funds that are coming in, they could go towards, mitigating this kind of situation.
In President Uhuru Kenyatta's 8-point agenda to reignite the economy, the education sector is set to receive 6.5 billion shillings for the hiring of an additional 10,000 teachers and 1,000 ICT interns to support digital learning. The sector needs are evidently greater and more immediate than the scope of the funding. Julian Amboko, NTV.